No, that's going to be the new name for our show, Waiting for Baldy. He's either taking a shit or Googling transvestites with large breasts.
Well, you know he gets that picture of the day, sends his email every day, from Big Boots Magazine.
Oh, wow. Big O guarantee for Week 16 NFL will be I forgot already, Houston Texans defeating the Tennessee Titans. I was about to say the Texas Titans.
Well, they did exist back in the day.
See? So, I know this is an important game for them to stay out ahead in is it the AFC East?
South.
South? See, I knew I should have kept that screen up. Stay out ahead in the AFC South, ahead of the Colts, having defeated the Colts last week without their starting quarterback. Brandon Whedon is in for another week. And and I mean, that was a decisive win, right, last week?
I believe, semi-decisive, I don't know. I think they won by less than a touchdown.
16-10. I mean, that was pretty good.
Yeah, it was all right. There was no line on that game last week because they didn't know who was going to start.
Let me see if they listed a line. Let me go back and check the fact check that.
Yeah, because when we did it, there was no line yet.
Oh, well, this doesn't show me whether there was a line either, because once it goes final. But anyway, the Brandon Whedon backup, what's his deal? Where's he coming out of? I know I've heard that name before.
He went to Oklahoma State, and then he went to the Cleveland Browns where he failed, and then he went to the Dallas Cowboys where he failed, and now he's with the Texans, and he is still older than Aaron Rodgers.
Did he play this year for the Cowboys?
Yeah, he was awful.
But why is he doing well seemingly now with the Texans?
He only played at less than a half for the Texans. I don't know how well you want to call that. And they only scored 16 points. So I'm not sure I'd call that well. What's his name? Not Keenum. I forget the other guy. Not Hoyer. I forget the other one. Well, Yates. Yates started that game. Then he tore his ACL in the middle of the game.
But how bad is the Titans? I mean, is that the matchup we're looking for here? Because
oh yeah, the Titans are the worst team in the league.
Yeah. So and I'm looking at the spread. I think it's like let me pull up the latest spread.
3.5.
Well, I think it's 4.5 now, but let me see what it is.
I looked at it about 15 minutes ago, and it was still 3.5.
3.5. So I mean, there you go. It's just a field goal and a hook. So spread-wise, and they got something to play for. So that's
yeah. And what's his name? Mariota's out. He's not going to play.
So who's starting for the Titans?
Mettenberger.
What?
Zach Mettenberger.
Who the hell is he?
Exactly.
Exactly. So, I mean, I'm surprised that pick got left on the table.
We were thinking about that one, actually. We actually had Houston as a possible combined pick.
Yeah, that's some low-hanging fruit right there. So, that's your Big O guarantee for Week 16. Big Danny D guarantee Week 16 NFL. Coming off a win last week. The slim cover of the Pittsburgh v. Denver. And the prior week picking Pittsburgh 2 wins in a row. He's on a streak. And who are you picking?
This week, I'm going to go with Arizona at home against the Green Bay Packers. Arizona is favored by 4.5. I think Arizona might be the best team in the league. I think they're better than the Patriots, and I think they're better than the Panthers. They do everything well. They play good defense, good special teams, and they probably the best offense of those three teams. The amount of guys that they have, they can throw at you. Carson Palmer is having the year of his life. He's never played this well before. He probably hasn't had this cast around him before. They seem just to find running backs. I mean, their running backs keep getting hurt every week, and they keep throwing these guys out there. That guy last week destroyed the Eagles for like 180 yards and a touchdown. He was fantastic. I know they lost Tyrann Mathieu, their safety. That's going to hurt them a little bit. But Green Bay's been very inconsistent. Their running game hasn't been there really all this season. It kind of comes and goes. And Aaron Rodgers hasn't put up great numbers this year. They've really missed Jordy Nelson. Ty Montgomery's out. Devontae Adams has been awful. He keeps dropping the ball every time they throw it to him. I think he has like a 35% completion percentage for throwing to him. And I think Arizona can do some things against them. Patrick Peterson's a hell of a corner, and I think he can take out at least one of their receivers. So Rodgers is going to be limited, and they're not going to stop the Cardinals on defense. Forget it. Their offense is excellent. I mean, they shut it down against the Eagles and still scored 40 points. They probably could have had 55 if they really gave a damn about the game. So because of that, they're at home. It's the big game at 4 o'clock. And it's not a big spread. I'm taking Arizona.
Today's show is brought to you by Miller High Life, the champagne of beers. Frederick Miller had a simple motto: quality, uncompromising, and unchanging. The Plank Road Brewery in Milwaukee, Wisconsin produced just 300 barrels in 1855. By the 1880s, the beer-drinking public was drinking nearly 80,000 barrels of Miller beer. Today, the Miller Brewing Company operates some of the most sophisticated state-of-the-art brewing facilities in the world. The same pride and craftsmanship and quality that has sustained the Miller Brewing Company through 150 years of growth and phenomenal popularity guides the company to this day. Miller High Life, the champagne of beers.
We've got the beer.
You know what? Picture Pages to sponsor our show this week.
Who's that?
Picture Pages. Remember that show?
No, what was that about?
It was a show with Bill Cosby. You would have this big this big pen with his face on the top. Some like caricature of him, and he would like make all these noises and draw this stuff on this blackboard or something.
What planet are you from? Holy shit.
You don't remember Picture Pages? Can't believe it.
I remember Fat Albert. What? Holy shit.
And here I am, and I want to introduce you to a couple of my friends. This is Wellington, the wiggly worm.
Wellington. Is that what you call his middle finger? Oh, I love the symbolism here. The finger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is Wellington going to go into his house?
Apparently, some women met Wellington that weren't ready to meet Wellington.
All right, that's enough.
Whoa, that was scary.
Yeah, right. I think that show is sponsored by Jerry Sandusky.
Yeah. Sponsored by the Penn State Athletic Association. Unbelievable. Let's do the combined pick for Week 16.
All right, our combined pick is Jacksonville at New Orleans. New Orleans is favored by 3 points, but we are taking Jacksonville at +3. New Orleans has the worst pass defense in the league. They're awful. They're just so bad. Everybody's bad. Their defense gave up in that game against Detroit last week. Drew Brees has plantar fasciitis in his foot, which is the whole bottom of your foot basically is ripped off. He has nothing there, so he's going to be playing on one foot. I don't know how long he's going to last.
Who are you talking about? Drew Brees?
Yeah, Drew Brees.
He injured his foot. It wasn't ripped off.
No, but the bottom part of his foot, the plantar fasciitis is a thing on the bottom of your foot like this. And it's torn here. It's like ripped apart. It's ripped from the back of his heel to the front. And this part's ripped off.
Ugly.
Like this. It's like this. And this part back here is ripped off your foot.
Ouch.
Yeah, so I don't know how effective he's going to be. As I said, their defense is historically bad. They're on pace to give up the most touchdown passes in the history of the NFL in one season. They're now tied with 42 touchdown passes in 14 games. And there's still 2 games left. They could give up 50 touchdown passes this season, which is awful. What's his name? Browner, their big free agent signing, leads the league in penalties. Their corner that they got. He has more pass interference, holdings, and whatever penalties than anyone in the league. So he's been awful. Jacksonville laid a huge egg last week at home against Atlanta. They were 0 for 10 on third down, I think, in that game. And they somehow let just an awful Atlanta team beat them. But New Orleans is worse. They have nothing to play for. They're really completely eliminated from everything. They stink. Breeze is hurt. And Bortles actually has a decent cast of characters. Him and Hearns and Allen Robinson and Julius Thomas. He has a good group there. So I think he'll be able to do some things. And I think Jacksonville should win outright. So we're going to take Jacksonville this week at a +3.
Even though you lost with them last week?
Even though we lost with them last week.
Or the Boo-Roo did, anyway.
Yeah, the Boo-Roo did. I mean, we're also thinking about Seattle at -13 at home against St. Louis.
It's a huge cover.
Because they've covered 2 huge spreads the last 2 weeks. They covered that 15 spread last week. And St. Louis is awful. And the other one we were thinking about was Pittsburgh at Baltimore, -10. Baltimore's been blown out completely the last 2 weeks by like 25 points each. So, but we took the safer pick and went with Jacksonville.
And Seattle, as it stands, I mean, after a bad start, is currently in the playoffs.
They're going to make it. If they win and the Vikings win, they're both in the playoffs. Really, it could all be settled this weekend. If your favorite nameless Washington team wins tonight against the Eagles.
The big Boo-Roo is still taking a shit while his Windows updates are being completed. He's probably out of toilet paper. He's probably using napkins from when he ordered pizza.
The box.
Paper.
He's probably using the paper inside the box.
This is the life he lives. We are going to declare his apartment a what do you call it,
an EPA disaster area.
Yeah, disaster area. He's going to be looking for super funds, EPA super funds. Yep. We might as well just put nuclear waste in his apartment. That way we can get some good use out of it.
Yeah, right. It probably is. Some of the food probably left in the refrigerator probably turned into something. Who knows?
There's no way anybody else could ever use it for anything after he's lived there. So
they're going to have to tear down the building after he leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
So all that funk gets into the ventilation system. It's like an old morgue. You pretty much just have to tear it down.
Yeah, right. The whole building's probably full of mold and who knows what now.
You can't get those spores out of the concrete at that point.
There's probably sick children there and sick old people, and all these people have these problems because of all the stuff emanating from his apartment.
That's where the zombie apocalypse will start. In that apartment building. Some type of fallout from germs that emanated from Brian's apartment.
Well, hopefully they'll just destroy Camden, so that would be a total loss.
You gotta see the good in everything,
That's right. That's right.
There's some positive.
Will he be able to control the zombies?
No, I think he's going to be the first one.
Oh, so that means he can break into prison and free Jerry Sandusky.
Yeah.
His hero.
They're going to be the dynamic duo of zombies. Jerry. And they're gonna make a movie about it, and they're gonna be playing that song. People, let me tell you about my best friend.
Oh, God.
So all of the mocking segments of Brian will be included in the show this week as punishment for not fixing his Skype on time. And Danny D will now do the big Boo-Roo B guarantee after the Titanic sinking intro, which will begin now. Week 16.
All right, the Big Belly is taking San Francisco plus 10.5 at Detroit. I assume this is a gut pick. If he doesn't get it wrong again, it would be just a mulligan. He's taking a mulligan for last week because he didn't have enough time to do the proper research and to consult with his belly for his gut. I just think this is a huge line. I don't see what the Lions have done at all that warrants such a huge line. I mean, I know San Francisco's not great. Blaine Gabbert is not a great quarterback, but that's just a ridiculous line for Detroit. They're not a good team either. I don't really see that. So I actually think this is a decent pick, but we'll see what happens. It is 10.5, so it's doing by a couple of touchdowns, which I'm not sure if that's going to happen. If they win by 10, we still win the bet. So because I didn't do any analysis and because Brian didn't provide anything and because he doesn't know his Skype password and he's mad at computers and thinks they're going to take over the world, he thinks Comcast is going to control everyone and put microchips in their brains while they're sleeping, he's taking San Francisco plus 10.5.
Yep, plus 10.5.
Yeah.
I mean, do either of these teams have anything to play with for or at this point?
Well, they may have something to play with, but they don't have nothing to play for.
With for?
No, they both stink. They're both out of the playoffs. Detroit did its usual Detroit awfulness. They started the season like 0-7, I think. They were horrible.
San Fran did?
No, Detroit.
Oh, Detroit.
Yeah, they're going to fire the black...
Granny blew out the front office, that's right.
Yeah, she bought the front office. Eventually, at the end of the season, they're going to fire the Black Marty Morningweg.
Not before him choosing to kick off in overtime, though.
Yeah, that was the best. Oh, we're going to kick off. 5 minutes later, the game's over.
Wind was going the other way.
Well, we want them to kick into the wind.
That'll teach them. Those fools agreeing to kick into the wind.
Yeah, right. Okay, we'll take the ball.
It's like, you got to get up pretty early in the morning to fool Marty.
That's right.
That's right.
Oh, man.
He knew where the wind was. He knew that they would have to kick into it. He was...
Yeah, but when you're kicking a 20-yard field goal, I don't think the wind really matters that much. You know, so he's going to get fired, and then they're going to call Brian up to the big leagues, and he'll get promoted to become the next head coach of the Detroit Lions.
No, he's going to be the get-back coach for the old Granny team. I think that Granny should become the head coach. She'd be awesome.
I don't think she wants to stand on the field. What do you think? She doesn't hang out with the help.
I think she should hire Condoleezza Rice. That's what...
Oh, Brian's online.
Uh-oh. Say it ain't so, Joe.
Holy shit, it only took him an hour.
Whoa. Big B guarantee, week 16.
All right, I did actually take some notes. I guess you already told everybody that I'm taking San Francisco, right?
Yeah. Big cover. Nothing to play for. Yeah.
Plus 2.5, or 10.5, right?
Yeah.
10.5?
Not 2.5.
10.5, yeah. Well, what I have here is I have Detroit is 2-5 against the spread at home this year. I also have that Detroit is 0-4 against the spread versus the 49ers in their last 4 games. Detroit's definitely going to win. I just don't know where Vegas got 10.5. I don't think Detroit's had a 10.5 spread all year. They're not a very good team. I don't know if they know something that we don't know, but I don't think Detroit's ever had more than a 4 or 5 point spread all year. I know San Francisco's bad, but nobody is that bad that Detroit's going to beat them by 10.5. So, and also the fact that San Francisco, their offense with Blake Gabbert is actually, he's in the last 6 games since he started, he's thrown for 270 yards per game, which is much better than it was with, thank you, Jerry Sandusky. Anyway, so with Blaine Gabbert at quarterback, the passing game has been much better.
Blaine Gabbert, not Blake Gabbert.
Danny, I'm gonna reach through the fucking computer and rip your head off right now. I'm not in a good mood. All right, shithead, asshole. So anyway, Blaine Gabbert has been playing well. 270 yards a game, and I just think that 10.5 is a high spread for Detroit. I think Detroit's going to win at home, but I don't think they're going to cover 10.5. They might win by 7, but I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I don't think Detroit's defense is very good. So I saw that 10.5, and that was like a red light just went off. If I was Vegas doing the odds, I'd put it at like 6.5, maybe tops. But 10.5 is Detroit's not the Patriots or Seattle. That's fucking ridiculous. So for all those reasons, I picked San Francisco, and I know I've been on a slump, so I have nothing to lose anyway, right? Fucking cares now.
Well, you're gonna have the special intro.
Dude, I just worked my ass off to get back on the show, man. I'm so pissed.
I know.
I'm fucking pissed. All the stupid shit I had to fill out and type up words and fucking Apple.
Somebody's here for the Super Bowl show. That's all that matters.
Fucking.
I love the Dan slideshow he's going through.
Because I just figured out I can call you guys now. It's fucking biggest bunch of bullshit. I had to get my password set up all again, and then Skype made me automatically update Skype, so then I had to download Skype and go through a bunch of steps. It's fucking bullshit, man. Computers are fucking bullshit. I specifically told them to skip. When I first want to upgrade a computer, I said skip for now. I fucking hit skip for now. I get a drink of water, or a drink of soda. I come back, and it's doing it's uploading the shit on its own. It's downloading, and I couldn't do anything. The computer's completely frozen. And I tried to turn my fucking computer off and on, and it was still doing the shit on its own. I didn't tell it what to do it. I didn't want it. And it uploaded, and then it just basically everything that I had set up already, it made me fix everything I had on the menu I wanted. Skype was already, when I turned on the computer, Skype was already up. No password. It was all. And so it reset everything. The fucking computer reset everything. So I had to go figure out my fucking password all over again. And I had to figure out the password of the email account that I set up because I didn't know it was through Gmail. It's through Outlook. Computers are bullshit. Everyone loves computers, man. It's fucking bullshit, man.
That was great, man.
It's fucking bullshit.
That was radio gold, man.
Oh my god. He needs Grandma Ford to yell at his computer.
My fucking computer's possessed, man. I said I wanted to skip the upgrade for now, and it did it on its own, and it took 35 minutes to upload all that shit, and I had to restart Skype all over again, and I didn't know my password. Dude, computers are bullshit, man.
No, it's too many views of Big Boobs magazine.
That was great, your rant about hating computers and computers are bullshit.
It is. I fucking hit skip now, and it ignored it, and it fucking did the shit on its own anyway. It did the upgrades,
Cool.
and when it does the upgrades, you can't do anything. You can't. It's frozen. And then I had to figure out. It restarted my Skype all over again. I had to fucking get my password and figure that shit out again. And then Skype made me fucking upgrade Skype. I didn't want to do that shit. It's fucking computers are bullshit, man. I don't care if the whole America hears it. Fucking computers are bullshit.
We had some great making fun of Brian segments that are going to be in the show.
Oh, yeah, we were punishing you badly. We made all kinds of Brian mock-out segments that
I
were
don't even care, man. You guys are idiots. Computers suck. I don't even care.
as punishment for you.
It's fucking bullshit, man.
Take your punishment like a man.
Computers are bullshit, man.
We were doing special segments because we were waiting for you. We were doing special Brian mock-out segments.
Yeah, we had the pizza guy show up at your house and rub his mustache against your stomach.
Yeah.
So what's left for me to do?
All right, so,
For real.
but no, let's let him do the Big B guarantee because Dan was basically saying you were taking a mulligan and you were taking a mulligan for last week and there was no analysis. You didn't have time because you knew how to work the computer.
Good for Dan. Good for fucking Dan. Dan can go fuck you too, man. Just like the computers can go fuck themselves. Shit.
Alright.
Fucking shit. Montage.
What is your you for real for week 16, Big Boo?
My are you for real is actually not something that specifically happened or someone said. A specific incident. It's my own deduction over the past week.
But wait a minute, stand by. Dan predicted that you would do the old Odell Beckham.
No, I'm not doing the Odell.
Oh,
Wow, an upset.
I'm doing national media biased bullshit.
wow.
So for the last 5 years, I've had to basically listen to the NFL Total Access Cowboys network. All they talk about is sucking off Tony Romo and how great the Cowboys are, even though they always suck ass. So, all right, thank you, Dan. So this week, I go on and I'm watching NFL Network, as I usually do. The entire week, they're sucking off Kirk Cousins like he's the new fucking Tom Brady. It's bullshit. Everyone is saying how great he is. Every commentator is saying how he's going to throw 500 yards against a terrible Eagles defense, how, he's the next Joe Montana. Anyway, my Are You For Real is this media-biased bullshit for Kirk Cousins because he's a good quarterback, but I wouldn't even put him in the top 15. No, I wouldn't even put him in the top 15, maybe top 15. Barely in the top 15 out of all the quarterbacks in the NFL. And for them to suck him off like that, and his stupid, thank you, Dan, and his fucking, his stupid, you like that, you like that, you like that, you like that. Well, fuck Kirk Cousins. He's not that good. And even if he does beat the Eagles, he's no fucking Tom Brady. I'm just fucking sick of all the media bias. So my Are You For Real is the stupid national media for sucking off a guy who hasn't even played a full season yet.
My You For Real is the officials that are now on the take, obviously, in the NCAAF bowl specific, which showed it reared its ugly head in the Monday bowl game, the Miami Beach Bowl, USF and Western Kentucky. We had a touchdown where the running back was flying like Superman over the pylon without the ball. The ball was clearly below his hands, and he's flying over the pylon without the ball, and it was reviewed and not overturned. So it's obvious that the next big scandal is going to be the NCAAF officials, specifically during bowl games. So that is my You For Real.
Your You For Reals get worse and worse every week.
No.
That's pretty stretching there.
Say it ain't so, Joe. Those refs were on the take. That wasn't the only bad call. I'm just highlighting the main bad call that really turned the game.
Well, first of all, who the hell's watching the Miami Beach Bowl?
Well, apparently the ESPN analysts are, because they were all over Twitter the day after just lampooning the officials with all kinds of different angles of the phantom touchdown. And, I mean, it wasn't even close. And how...
There's three things here. One, who's watching this game? Two, does this game really matter that much? And three, what officials do you think they're sending over there? Do you think they're really sending the A-team of officials to do that game?
They're sending people that need money.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter.
What is the Danny D You For Real for Week 16? Coming off of my You For Real, where I am a conspiracy theorist with referees. Officials. What do we call them in the football? We call them
officials. I mean, I think they're just incompetent more than a conspiracy.
No, I think they're making money gambling on sports.
It could be true. You never know.
Hey, let me in on the insider information. Hey, whatever happens, Western Kentucky's going to win.
Yeah, right.
Let me in on that. I want some action on that if I know ahead of time.
You're just upset UCF, whatever the hell it is, or USF, or whatever it is, gloss.
No, but I have insider information on that. That's all.
Anyway, I'm going to my old standby, the Cleveland Browns, once again, for my You For Real. As predicted, they got pounded by Seattle, by their less than elite quarterback, as the great Mike Pettin put it. Russell Wilson, who set an NFL record for most consecutive games with 3 touchdown passes, and has thrown 19 touchdown passes and 0 interceptions the last 4 games, or 5 games, something like that. So Mike Pettin's real smart. That was great. So they got pounded, and Seattle actually covered the 15-point spread, winning by 17. in a real embarrassment. And then yesterday on Christmas, two of his players decided to get arrested with alcohol and drugs and a gun in the car. So that was good too.
And then they showed a picture of when they have the headline of them being arrested. What was it? It was Christmas morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was yesterday morning.
And then they showed a picture of like a group of Browns players kneeling on the field in prayer prior to the game. I mean, the press is so ruthless, right?
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, it's like it's one thing after another with that group. You can never get too much. They're just ridiculous. Oh, God.
World's greatest hypocrites.
Yeah, but it's just like every week there's something, and you can't get enough of them. It's like a comedy troupe. Every week they come with some other shtick to make everyone laugh at them.
And who is it they want to give a hard time for taking the Browns out of there in the middle of the night and moving them to Baltimore? Art Modell, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, he didn't really take it in the middle of the night.
Maybe that guy was the smartest guy on the planet.
He was. He got the hell out of Cleveland. Because Baltimore promised to build him a brand new stadium with a great lease, a great deal, sweetheart deal. He went in there because they wanted football again, because they lost the Colts. Because the Colts left them in the middle of the night back in 1984, 85, something like that. The Mayflower truck showed up and took the team away. It's true. They have footage of them.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that was hilarious.
Well, there's going to be a replay, right? With who's moving to L.A.? Is it Oakland, or who's moving to L.A.?
Well, if you think the Chargers are probably going to move, they're probably going to let them go. And then it's a fight between the Raiders and the Rams. And what might happen is that, Stan Kroenke, the owner of the Rams, is willing to build his own stadium with his own money in Englewood in Los Angeles. So the thinking might be that he might switch franchises and that he might own the Chargers and move them to L.A. And then the Hispanos who own the Chargers would then take over the Rams, because St. Louis actually has a decent deal for a stadium, the money they're willing to put up. The NFL is willing to put up $100 million or $200 million or something to help pay for it. Plus, he would get money from Kroenke for a relocation fee by getting his franchise, because the team that moves has to pay a fee to the NFL for moving their team. So he might get another $100 million from that, which would pay for half the stadium, all that money. And then Oakland might just be screwed. They're not sure whether they want them to move to L.A. or maybe move to Santa Clara and play their games in the same place as the 49ers. It's complicated. They're going to have a meeting in mid-January to settle all this. January 13th, I think it is.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it?
That's going to be a U for real right there.
Yeah. Hey, let's put 4 teams in the same stadium. What the hell? Come on. And Week 16 NFL going into the playoff. There's one more week, right, before playoffs?
Yeah.
So, second to last week, Big O is picking Houston, Big D is picking Arizona, Big B is picking San Fran, and the peskiest and stone cold mortal rock is the Jacksonville Jaguars. And as always,
Score was Big Pick 4. Hey, Scott, is that going to keep happening to me? Is that doing it to you too? Like, when you turn on the computer, does it automatically update it without even asking you if you want to do it? Does that just always happen?
Mine does. Sometimes when I turn it off, it does that.
yep.
Yeah, but then why does it even give you the option? It says skip now. I skip now, and it still did it on its own. It still updated, and it took a half hour.
Yeah, Scott is a theory about that.
So it's just going to keep happening?
Well, you can set Windows to say ask me before making updates, but it still doesn't always ask you. Sometimes it does.